evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colin Martin. I'm the president of the Harris County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for coming out this evening for this candidate forum. We are going to hear from both our county commission candidates and our Board of Education candidates. We're going to start with our county commission candidates first. The way the format is going to operate for both sessions, but I'll go over this again at the beginning of the Board of Education forum. We'll start with each candidate having a 1-minute opening statement. Then we're going to ask 2 questions of each candidate. Everybody gets the exact same questions. I'll ask the question. We'll just start down at the end with Mr. Zerner. We'll work our way this way on both questions. None of the questions are specific to a district. They apply to the whole county. And then at the end of those 2 questions, if we're ahead of schedule, I'll have a 3rd question. If not, we'll just go with the 2 we have, and then candidates will have a 1-minute closing statement. Kim Tharp, our office administrator, is sitting in front of you. Kim, if you'll hold up, we have a 15-second warning, and then we'll have a stop. When he hits 1 minute, she'll be timing on her phone. In front of you is a microphone. If you'll share those microphones, they are live as you pass them, so just be aware of that. And with that, we will get started. Are there any questions of me? One thing I will mention before I get started, also on the ballot, besides these county commission candidates and the Board of Education candidates, will be a SPLOST, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. That the current one ends next year, and the April 30th, and the county commission has proposed a new one to begin May 1st. There are several important items on there, and the Chamber of Commerce has endorsed a yes vote on that SPLOST vote. The money will be going toward public safety, to buy new vehicles, both ambulances and sheriff vehicles, ambulances. It will also go toward refinancing the debt on the community center, which will take it from being solely dependent on your property taxes to having going to sales taxes, which not only you pay, non-property owners pay, and visitors to the county pay. It'll also cover some money for broadband, economic development, and of course a very important issue in Harris County's roads. So we encourage you to study the issue, but then we encourage you to vote yes on the SPLOST on May 22nd. The election day is May 22nd. Early voting starts April 30th. And you'll have 3 weeks to early vote, and then again, election day, May 22nd. So, we will begin. And thank you all for coming tonight and being here so folks can hear what you have to say. We'll begin with you, Mr. Zerner, if you want to go with your 1-minute opening statement.
Okay. Hi, I'm Andrew Zerner, and I want to thank y'all for coming this evening and listening to us. I'm a Harris County native, born and raised here, been here my entire life. I'm a graduate here of Harris County High School. Once I graduated from here, I went to Southern Polytechnic State University in Marietta. I graduated from there with a degree in land surveying. Once I graduated from there, I realized I was ready to get the heck out of Atlanta and moved back to Harris County. My wife is also a Harris County native. She is an educator here at Harris County. We have 2 small girls that both attend Harris County school systems. And I'm a small business owner here in the Harris County. In the past, I served on a planning and zoning committee for the city of Hamilton. I enjoyed serving the people of Hamilton, and I would love your vote and the chance to serve you as a county commissioner. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. I'm Patrick Worley. I'm married to Glennis Worley. We have 6 kids, and that's a lot. It's never a dull moment at the house. But, I've lived in Harris County just about my entire life. I'm a Harris County graduate. I graduated in 1991. Went to a little school in South Georgia, ABAG, and studied landscaping. I'm running for District 1 Commissioner, and I'm running because I love Harris County. This is my home. It's always been my home, and I want to be part of the future growth and development of this county, and I want to be a voice for the District 1 citizens. You know, somebody they can call on, you know, day or night, and answer their call, and you know, help them if I can. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Grant, otherwise known as Coach Grant. My family's been in this county since about 1840 or somewhere thereabouts. So I am a lifelong Harris County resident. I'm probably kin to over half of the people in this room, if you are a resident. I am running for county commissioner because I think I can help and I love this county. There's nothing I wouldn't do for this county. I had a student ask me the other day, if you could live anywhere you wanted to live, where would you live? And I said, I'd live right here. I said, because it has three of the things that I love the most. Mountains, water with a lake, and it has the people that I love to be around. So I just ask y'all to vote for me because I promise you, I will do the best that I can for the people of Harris County. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm Patrick Calloway, and I like the way Coach Grant put it, but my roots also run deep in the county, not quite as deep as his, but certainly Harris County means a lot to me, and I think I've spent, adding it up, close to 30 years living in Fortson, Catala, Pine Mountain, Hamilton, the backwaters. So I know the county well, and it's home, and there's no place like Harris County. I think it's important to keep it the way, a lot of the good things that are making Harris County special the way they are, and we're seeing a lot of growth and development pressure, and I think it's important that we do the right thing and are prudent about how we permit this growth and development. And I went to CSU. My wife Hannah and I live on 116 and plan to be here forever, so we're committed to Harris County for the long haul. And thank you.
I'm going to be different. I think I'm going to sit here. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm Ann Bacher, and I'd like to tell you why I'm running for county commissioner. I was in Publix a couple of months ago, and one of the officials from the county walked up and said, I want you to do me a favor. And I said, why? And he said, run for county commissioner. I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean, run for county commissioner? He looked at me and says, how long have you been coming to the county commissioner meetings? I said, 15 years. My husband was a retired military intelligence officer, and then became a Methodist minister in Harris County. My children both went to Harris County High. We came back, 20 acres and a wonderful log cabin, and retired in Hamilton. And so I said to him, I'm retired now, I want to know who I'm going to vote for. So I started going to meetings. Went to Hamilton, I joined the Planning and Zoning Committee. I was served 2 terms as on the Hamilton City Council. So I said, okay, I'll think about this. And so he said, well, now, make that decision now. So I did, surprising everyone, because we just moved to Pine Mountain. My husband's health is not that good, so we moved to Breezy Pines, and we've been there a little over a year. And I know people in Pine Mountain because I own the Emporium 3 different times in Pine Mountain, so I think I know just about everyone in Pine Mountain. It's a great town, and that whole area is wonderful. So I said I would do it. And one thing I'd like to...
Your time's up.
Okay.
And that's what I'm like, y'all please keep an eye on Kim. I know you want to make eye contact with the audience, but keep an eye on Kim because she's timing.
Well, I'll try to make it short and sweet. My name is Richard Marion. I lived here in Harris County for about 8 years. I elected to move here because I wanted to raise my 2 kids, and I've been on the volunteer fire department for 6 years. My wife works at Piedmont, and we need change for the county. I want everybody that's already spoken, they want to keep the county country. We all want to keep the county country, and we have to watch how our growth, we have to consider our growth and how we grow this county, because if not, we're going to become Columbus. So I'll cut it short.
I'm Becky Langston. I'm currently your District 3 Commissioner. And some of you know me, some of you don't know me, and some of you know what you've heard about me. I'm a champion of the taxpayer, the public safety employees, our county employees, and the best interests of Harris County. I voted against the tax increase of 2017. I recommended and the Board of Commissioners approved a salary study to bring our county employees up to standard wage. I supported new equipment for EMS and another deputy on the roads for the sheriff's office. I also recommended the $2.7 million in the current SPLOST for new apparatus for the fire department. In District 3, 5 roads during my last term have been resurfaced, with one that is scheduled for paving in the next few months. I'm a hands-on working commissioner and pride myself on being available 24/7, 365. Thank you.
All right, we'll start with the questions. New housing developments along Highway 315 have generated a great deal of discussion about residential growth in Harris County. What would you change about our current approach to residential development, no matter where it is in the county, and why? Mr. Zerner, we'll begin with you.
So with all the current growth going on in Harris County, I mean, any area that succeeds, you're going to experience growth over time, and that's probably why half of us are in this room, because Harris County has grown. And we have to have growth, but it has to be a planned growth. You have to drive that growth in the direction that you want it to go. And right now, I feel like we need a better communication between the Board of Commissioners, the Board of Education, the volunteer fire departments, the police departments. I believe that everybody needs to work together so Harris County can run like a fine oiled machine and keep moving along and be successful. Right now we have a great school system. Harris County is just known as a great place to live. There's virtually no crime. And by pushing that growth in the right direction and everyone working together, I believe that we can sustain that growth and just have planned growth and make that growth work through communication.
Everybody's the same questions, go ahead.
Okay. You don't want to sound like a broken record or nothing, but yeah, the growth has come and it's still coming. And it's not necessarily a bad thing for growth to be planned where it needs to go, where the infrastructure supports it. Being 185, the south side of the county has grown probably more than any part of the county. And excuse me, I got dry mouth. Can't talk. I need water. But yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
You want me to go?
No, I'll go.
That way you can get you some water.
No.
There's a water fountain.
No. Yeah, but growth needs to be communicated. If I'm elected, I would like to see the county go in the direction of a full-time county planner to help with communication for all the avenues that Mr. Zerner just spoke about. Not just communicate with people within the county, but help the citizens realize to understand the comprehensive land use plan that is there for the people that move into the county. The land use plan is there, and it shows you where the growth is planned to go, where the past county commissioners. And I apologize. But,
You're fine. If you want to slip up this water.
Well, probably all of us are going to say the same thing. And I have seen this county grow because when I was coaching him, we were a AA school. Now we're a 5A school about to be 6A. So we're going to continue to grow because people have found out what a great place we have here and everybody wants to come live here. We can have growth. We can have business growth. We need to control the growth. To help the commissioners, we can put conditions on the growth. We can also keep our county rural. We can do both because the people of Harris County are smart enough to be able to control our own growth as well as keep us a rural county and keep us what made us great. We are a great little county. Everybody wants to be here, but if you're going to have houses, you've got to have the businesses to go along with it, and we can control both parts of it. And that, I think, is the biggest part that we need to do for this county is control it and keep it at the same time. Because you can do that, and we would be able to do that.
Along those lines, I kind of feel the same way, and I know a lot of people are up in arms about the development, and that's inevitable to some degree, but part of my motivation for getting involved is to make sure that we have balanced growth, and that what's unique about Harris County, it being rural and green and not fully developed, stays that way. So I think it's important that we work with our economic development people and attract the types of businesses and industry that we want to offset these residential neighborhoods, because according to Mr. Woods, it takes a $450,000 house to pay for their students that go to school here. So if we're doing developments with cheaper homes, the rest of us are picking up the burden, and the taxes have to go up. So I think, as he said, we need to coordinate better for our capacity, because my understanding is the high school is reaching its limits, and also volunteer firefighters and other resources are going to be strained if we don't have a long-term plan to be disciplined. Maybe put a cap on how many units.
I'll take that one. I think I will stand up for this one because I've got a solution for all these problems. It's called the comprehensive plan, and that we will be working on in 2009. I worked on this one 2014, the other one will be 2019. They will be starting in April 24th. Everyone in this audience is invited to come. Each town is invited to come. It tells you absolutely everything that's available in Harris County and how we need to change it if we want to change Harris County, or do we want to leave Harris County the same. I picked out one sentence from a letter from the 2004 comprehensive plan, and this lady wrote, "I want the quality of life in Harris County to remain at the high standard it is today, and restrict dense housing, and by redistricting dense housing and sprawling commercial growth will ensure that for us and future generations." February the 6th, 2014. This will be your decision. Or 2019.
Your time's up again.
Okay. Make sure you attend this meeting. That's all I got to say. Be sure for this.
Well, I don't know how many ways to say the same thing. I concur with all the previous statements. Our growth needs to be planned and carefully considered with our infrastructure, our fire, police, EMS, because adding more homes, we're going to have add more sheriff officers on the road to keep us at the high standards of safety that we are all accustomed to right now. That's pretty much it. I mean, there's not really many more ways to say the same thing over and over and over again. So, here you go. Thank you.
As has already been mentioned, we'll begin work next week on our comprehensive plan for 2019 and the 5 years forward. Along with that, the commission has decided and voted that we will have a committee of stakeholders, which will include school board, our firefighters, all of our public safety employees, and citizens of the county. So I think that's a great start in trying to determine just how we want Harris County to look. And in my opinion, that's the first thing we need to do. There are a lot of opinions out there as to how we should look, what we should look like, and I think that this will help greatly if we get all of these stakeholders together, come to one mind and say, this is how we want our county to look. Thank you.
Why don't you hang on to that? We'll start with the second question for you, if that's okay. Harris County has invested a significant amount of money into the Northwest Harris Business Park and has attracted several manufacturers and other businesses to locate there. What steps do you think the county ought to take in the next several years to create jobs in Harris County?
I think that we need to continue to do what we're doing as far as recruiting the businesses to come here. We have had about, I believe it's 9 new businesses since 2009 to locate there, and I think that's what we need to do. I think we've done a great job in bringing those businesses here. And we also have the Harris County, the Hamilton Business Park. We have 2 new businesses right now that we're waiting to begin construction on their buildings. So I think we just need to continue to do what we do.
growth and development, we need to try to encourage, and if possible, with tax breaks to bring manufacturing and industry here. I just recently was able to go enjoy a luncheon up in Atlanta with the governor, and we spoke about manufacturing and large, medium, and small manufacturing facilities, and there are quite a few that are still looking to place homes, so if we could just get out there and try to reel them in before any of our surrounding counties try to steal them from us. But we do need to increase our business, 15 seconds. We need to increase our business in the county to help relieve some of the tax relief on our people here. Thank you.
This plan designates where the business should be. And they've done a great thing by putting the businesses up in the northern part where there are no houses around that area and does not disturb the area. And there are more areas that might be used, and this is a decision you'll be having to make for this year and next year.
I think it's probably equally as important beyond just deciding where the businesses will be to decide what types of businesses you want to attract to Harris County. And certainly manufacturing, industrial are probably welcomed in the business parks, and they've made great strides with the business park up in North Harris County. But I think capitalizing on our natural landscape and the state park and the other green resources we have to bring low impact businesses where tax dollars will be spent but not have a detrimental impact to the nature of Harris County would be wise. So eco-friendly development and deliberate development.
Well, I believe that in Harris County, if we want to bring in the businesses that we want for the people, we need to go out and recruit the proper business. You know, we don't want just anybody to come in here. I agree. You know, we want to bring somebody in here that's going to do something and be in conjunction with businesses we already have. We have a state park. Bring somebody in here that will also bring something that will add to the state park. We have Callaway Gardens. Bring something in here that will add to Callaway Gardens, not take away. We have stuff already here in place. Let's go find somebody that wants to be here, who wants to be with what we already have. We have an interstate. We have 4 exits on the interstate. All we have out there right now is a Dollar General and a gas station and Hunter's Pub. Let's bring something that wants to be there, that wants to be for the people of Harris County, that's not going to just come in here and start taking over and cutting down trees and doing all that stuff. Keep us rural, keep our green space, and work with what we already have and provide even more services.
Yeah, you go to like Ms. Langston said, do a lot of the same what we're doing now. We have like a great business park, Northwest Business Park. We have Hamilton Business Park. You know, keep making improvements to those to make it appealing for businesses to come. You know, county work more with the chamber and the economic development team to recruit businesses to this area. And I think that goes back to, you know, if we can hire a full-time county planner with some economic development background, they kind of go hand in hand, you know, somebody to help recruit businesses to the county. Because we already have stuff in place where they need to go. We just need to get them here and put them there.
So I think right now Harris County's done a well job getting businesses here with the business parks we have and the locations that they're at. As Mr. Grant was saying, I think it's recruiting businesses here is a great idea, and if we can go to recruit those businesses and again have that planned growth similar to all the residential development that's going on, just keep everything planned to go out and recruit these certain businesses, and if that requires some tax breaks to, you know, to interest other companies to move here and to use our industrial parks. You know, I think that's just the basis of it, is just having that planned development still.
I do want to encourage you all to put the microphone close to your mouth. You'll be heard better in the back. We do have time for a third question. Broadband access in Harris County is an important issue to many residents. What role should the county government play in bringing broadband to a larger portion of Harris County? Mrs. Turner, we'll start with you.
Could you repeat that question one more time?
Broadband access in Harris County is an important issue to many residents. What role should the county government play in bringing broadband to a larger portion of Harris County?
So that internet access is tremendously important to all the residents of our community. Right now, I think there's a rural initiative going on to help bring some broadband to the county. So I think it's important that the county does work with whomever to help provide these services to the county. I think it's important for the government to do whatever they can to help get those services here. I'm not sure exactly what that is yet, but I think it's important that we work with that.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but yeah, just like Mr. Turner said, the government, the county commission needs to do everything they can to work with whatever service or company that wants to come in and provide those services. And however that may be, or however that works, just be open and work with whoever wants to come with those services.
We've all talked about trying to strengthen our infrastructure. Strengthening our broadband would help strengthen our infrastructure. It would bring what we need to the county, it would also bring businesses. If we can get the county government, and if I'm elected, I would do everything I can to try to help our broadband, because having a better broadband will not only just help the citizens of Harris County, it will draw in businesses and things that we can control and have our growth, which would then bring in other items and other box stores and things like that. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to tell us we need to quit being rural, but if we don't continue to try to bring in some businesses and try to help us with our taxes, then, eventually down the road, we're gonna get into some situation and some trouble. So if we can get the broadband in, we also can recruit other people in and other businesses in. And that would help us tremendously, especially here at the high school. We need it. Thank you.
I think this is a great question, and something I personally have an interest in seeing as well as everyone else, but I think it's critical to our rural life and the way Amazon works. If we want to maintain this rurality, to make up a word, we have to be connected. And so I think push-pull, however you have to get internet service providers to provide access. So far, it looks like they've just gone for the low-hanging fruit in the more densely or populated areas, and they skip over lots of homeowners because they don't want to split off their lines. And I think if it's possible, there needs to be an ordinance that prevents that. If AT&T runs a fiber optic cable in your front yard, they have to break you off a connection, and at a reasonable price. It's essential to have internet today. So I think this is probably one of the highest priorities for the county, however they have to do it. Incentivize or threaten or.
Many people work from home now. So this is something we desperately need. Sometimes you work half a day at the office and you go home to work. But some people will not buy a house because broadband is not here. Please, we'll do everything possible to get that.
I have to agree with the previous speakers that whatever we have to do to threaten, incentivize, or whatever just to get it here, because trust me, just ask your kids.
Well, the lack of broadband has been an issue for the last 8 years that I've been a commissioner. We've looked at a lot of things. We've had a couple of issues. I can tell you one story, but I only have 1 minute. So, we've looked at a lot of issues. We had an issue in my district several years ago, and the commission actually sent a letter to the CEO of Charter. We heard nothing. Come to find out, we actually have no authority over any of the cable companies or any of the internet providers. So what we have decided to do is it is a SPLOST initiative. In the upcoming SPLOST vote, the state is one of the number 1 or 2 projects from the state to provide state funds, and we want to be ready for that when they're there to hand it out. We want to be safe. We're ready. We will do what we have to do. We're ready to take your state funds.
Why don't you go ahead and, we're done with questions. So we'll do closing statements since you've got the mic right there. We'll start with you and just work our way down.
And number one, I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting this and Kim for being our timekeeper. And I would like to thank all of you for taking time out of your schedule to come. We all have very busy schedules, and I know it's not easy. This election is not about us. It's about you. And it's the kind of representation that you want to see for your district on the Board of the Commissioners for the next 4 years. I have worked tirelessly for the people of Harris County in District 3 for 8 years, and I would be honored to do so for the next 4 years. So I ask you to re-elect someone who's a working commissioner. I would appreciate your vote in the Republican primary. Thank you.
I'm running for county commissioner to be the voice of the majority and not just a few. I know our county growth is inevitable, but it has to be the right type of growth and carefully considered. We must also consider our infrastructure before we agree to grow. I plan on being proactive, accountable, responsive, and informative. I want District 3 to be educated, informed, and considered on all matters in which I would vote for. I'm asking for your vote in the May election. Please help me make the right changes for the county. I will work with fire, EMS, police, sheriffs, and of course our wonderful dispatchers. We have to make their lives and their jobs easier. And in closing, we need to not lose focus on our children. We need to support our recreation league and to keep our children active and engaged. Thank you.
Number one, I'd like to invite all of you to come to the county commissioner meetings twice a month and to support some of these commissioners who may be up there and help them. This is what we need. Many times we'll have maybe 10 people there if we're lucky. Come support them and come to as many meetings as possible, and I'll be glad to serve you. Thank you.
Thank y'all for coming out and giving us an opportunity to speak our positions and ideas and give us consideration. I also want to thank Colin and Kim for putting this together. And the three things that I think are most important are public safety. We've got a great leader and Sheriff Jolly, and they need to have the resources to function properly. And so far, in talking to him, I learned that we're not very competitive on pay. I think that's something that needs a little attention in the form of longevity raises. But low taxes, that's very important to everyone I know. And I think that goes back to responsible development and connectivity. I think internet is essential. I don't think we can wait on the state or the federal government to bring money in. I think we need to be proactive and figure out a way to incentivize them. Thanks.
Well, as all of you can tell, I am not a politician. I am just a teacher and a coach that loves where I live and loves where I'm from. And I believe that I can bring a new perspective and a fresh perspective to the commission. But I will do anything in my power to help Harris County. I am very passionate about Harris County. I'm very loyal to Harris County. I love everything about Harris County. I may not know all the answers tonight, and I may not be able to tell you all the answers, but I promise you, I will find the answers and do the best job I can for you, the people. That's what this is all about, is doing for you, the people of Harris County, and making Harris County the best Harris County it can be. We're already good. Why not let's be great? Thank you.
Not a politician.
In closing, if elected, I will be very dedicated to my district and the rest of Harris County. In my prior term as a District 3 Commissioner, I never voted to raise a millage rate. I supported a countywide raise for all employees. And the county employees and first responders will always be a high priority for me. I will continue to support all recreation. I will support and find ways to get roads paved and expand the county water system. Again, I I want to be a voice for District 1 and greatly appreciate your support.
I want to say, thank you again for the chamber for putting this on, and thank you to the high school for hosting this event tonight. I love Harris County. Like I said, I've been here my entire life. I have no plans to go anywhere. My wife and I are raising our 2 kids here. We've always had a lot of interest in Harris County. There's so much going on in Harris County right now with all the growth, and that's one of the big thing that I really want to be involved with in helping control that growth or push that growth in the right directions. I'm also very big on our public safety. I mean, if we can leave and go to work every day, leave your home and then come back later that night and find your home the same way. I mean, right now our public safety, they do a great job. And of course, I'm all for low taxes. I think everybody is, obviously. But again, thank you, and thank you for listening to us tonight.
Let's give these candidates a round of applause. I want to, it's a good sign of a politician. They all didn't talk too much. That's a good sign. I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize our County Commission Chair, Harry Lang, is here. Our County Commission Vice Chair, Susan Andrews, is here. Judge Thomas Lakes is here. Superintendent Jimmy Martin is here. Former State Representative Randy Phillips is in the back. Pine Mountain City Councilor Tammy Pierce is here. I think I got all the elected officials. Did I miss any elected official? And I do want to thank Mr. Stanfield for letting us borrow the cafeteria this evening to do this. So we're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to switch out and bring the school board candidates out, and we'll get restarted. So thank you all.